Hey guys, this is Al from Open Source Channel and welcome again to a new episode on how to install. Today I'm going to show you how to install a web panel. No, not Z panel. I'm going to show you how to install Centos Web Panel. 100% free. Get ready. As you remember, everything started many years ago when I started to show tutorials on how to install zPanel X. I think actually the first version was on zPanel on Windows. Then it was on the Ubuntu, CentOS, and I think it was one version as well on VMware. Today we're going to do the same on VMware. We're going to use a vSphere, and I'm going to show you how to install Centos Web Panel on CentOS 6.2. Don't forget that you can follow me on, of course, on Twitter. You can follow me on my website and also on Google Plus. Here is the link. Now let's start. I'm going to let's call vSphere second, and there we go. We got vSphere here, and I'm going to start creating a new server. Of course, this is a virtual server. Now what we're going to do, I'm going back to the CWP website, click on installation. There's nothing to download as such. Here you can see here is a system requirements. So it's a 32-bit or 64-bit. If on 32-bit we need at least 512 megabyte RAM, and we need hideaway, we need 10 gig of hard disk drive. Now I'm going to open this one up, and I'm going to create a new virtual machine. Leave it on typical. Actually, let's do custom. Right, let's do custom, and I'm going to call it CentOS, and I'm going to call CWP. Then I'm going to click next. Now it's asking me the destination storage. I'm going to use 2T Maximus. Now this is just the name of the hard disk. Don't worry, just choose whatever hard disk comes up that you want to use. So it's next, virtual machine version 8, next Linux, and I'm going to choose, let's see, CentOS 32-bit. Tell you what, I think I got 64-bit. So let's do 64-bit, and I'm going to use 2 virtual sockets and 2 virtual cores. In total, core is 4. Now, as you can see here, minimum is 512. We're using 64-bit, so we're going to use at least 1 gig of RAM. So that's 1 gig. I'm going to use 4 gig. I want to make sure that everything's fine. Gonna click next. I'm going to leave as res, Nix as VM network. Press next. LSI logic parallel, that's what I want. I'm going to create a new virtual disk for this. So we need at least 10 gig. So I'm going to leave, I'll tell you what, I'll do 25 gig for this installation. I'm going to do next, SCSI, and click on finish. So it's been done. Here we go. I'm going to press on console. I'm going to press the CD, DVD, and I'm going to connect to an ISO image that I got on think on data store. Here we go. I'm going to use 64 minimum CentOS 6.2 64-bit minimal. Press OK. Then I press play here. Control Alt. And I'm going to choose the first one, install upgrade existing system. Now, it doesn't matter if you do it on a virtual machine or on a physical machine, this installation is exactly the same. I'm going to reduce my mouse and I'll go in full screen for now. Then I'm going to use skip, as I don't have a real CD, so it's all done for the hard disk. Press next, English, United Kingdom. I'm going to use basic storage. Yes, discard any data. Now, host name, I'm going to call it cp dot open source channel. No, that's source. .co.uk. Then press next. I'm going to choose London. There we go. Press next, and I'm going to choose the password. Oops, I forgot this. Now don't forget your password. This is going to be your root password. I'm going to press next. I'm going to choose use the entire space or use all space, and then again press next. Right, change it to disk. So it's nearly done. Once finished, we need to restart the CentOS. Alright, installing the bootloader. And then we're going to press reboot machine. While it's rebooting, I pause and I'll resume as soon as possible. Alright, so we're back now to the CentOS machine. I'm going back and on the actual browser. So I'm going to show you. You can find on the actual website, Centos-webpanel.com, the instruction how to install it. And that shows you more or less what to do. Right, so don't forget you need to do the installations and the updates of the system, and always don't forget to reboot your machine. Now done that, I'm going to show you how I do it. Here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is let's do first this. Alright, now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to log into the system with my root and password. Login password using root. Make sure you use root to do this for this installation. There we go. Once I am inside, I'm going to do the update of CentOS. And also you need to install wget to download the latest version on of the panel. So now I'm going to download wget, and now I'm going to do the update of CentOS. yum-y and update. Now this should take a little bit of time. I will resume the installation once the update has been done. Alright, so nearly finished the installation. There we go, that's done. Now I'm going to reboot CentOS. All you need to do, just type reboot and press enter. Now the system will restart in a few seconds. Here we go. Now we got the panel again, and I'm going to log in again using again root. Once inside, we start the installation of the panel. So I'm going to write down the directory that I need to be in before I start the installation. In this case, it's going to be cd space /usr /local /src, and I'm going to press enter. Now I'm going to get the file from the server, and I'm going to type wget http :// and that is Centos webpanel.com / I think it's CWP latest, I think it is. Let's see, yes it is. Now the file has been downloaded. Now I'm going to type sh space CWP -latest and press enter. Here we go, the installation file started. At the end of the process, we need to restart the machine. I think that's nearly done. Don't forget that the CWP panel is totally free to use, and it comes with a lot of things. So you can have your own SSL and everything here. If you remember the Z panel, it wasn't, well, you could install OpenSSL, but from the actual core system it didn't have any SSL installation or setup. But with the CWP you have a lot. I think I'm going to pause a little bit the video, and as it's going to take a little bit more time, and I'll resume as soon as finished. Usually the installation takes quite a lot. From the website, I think it states somewhere where it actually lasts around 30 minutes. So don't worry about it. Just in case you think it's taking too long, that's normal. Now the installation file is going to install every single file that you need and every single application, PHP, MySQL, Apache, and all the rest, FTP, email server. So you don't have to do nearly nothing at all. Just execute and reboot the machine. Really, it's quite simple. I think it's totally PHP 4 or 5, I think. It should be long, hopefully. There we go. The server has been installed, as you can see here. Make sure that all the information you see on the screen after the installation, like this one here, make sure that you write it down, everything. This will contain all the information you need to get started. Your IP address, all the ports, the normal HTTP plus the SSL, your MySQL password, quite important, and all the information you need. So make sure that you got this before you restart your server. Now, once you've done that, don't forget to press enter and restart the machine. Now, before I do that, I'm going to make sure I get information. This information I'll write down, and I'm going to press enter. So anyway, this is it. Restarting the machine. Now if I go back to, let's see, let me release the mouse now. I'm going back to the browser. Here on the installation you can actually find what you need here to get started and which ports you need. You need your IP, and the port is 2030, and also you need the root and the password you used to install your CentOS. Now, if you don't know the actual IP of your server, what you can actually do, see if I can go back here. Now if you type, let's see if it actually says here any information. No, it doesn't say it, so I'm going to type ifconfig, ifconfig, and as you can see here, it tells me the internal IP, so you can actually get to the panel using this IP 174. So I go back here, open a new tab, and I'm using 2030, and there we go. Here we are in the CentOS panel we just installed. To log in is very simple. I'm going to use root and the password. The password is the one you use in installation of CentOS. I'm going to say remember, and as you can see, the installation has been completed, and here are all the information of the server and all the IPs you need. It's quite simple panel. It's more or less the same as the Z panel or the more sophisticated C panel. Here you got the Apache settings, SSL certificate management, where you can create your own, install an SSL certificate, or you can actually generate one for yourself. although it's not is a big difference between the one you buy and the one you generate yourself. The first thing you got to do, as you will see here, is to set up your name server. And if I go to the, let's say I go to serverconf main packages. There we go. You need to change this with your own name server. Logically, the name server, if you go to your registrar or your domain name, you create 2 new entries, and don't forget to put the relevant IP for it. Right? In this case, for example, there are 2 IPs here that I use. Logically, use your own for your own server. There we go. This was just the installation. As soon as I got 5 minutes, I will try to do another tutorial, and I'm going to show you how to get started with the actual panel. Thanks again for following me again for the new tutorial. Don't forget you can follow me on my website, Twitter, Google+, and of course all my videos are on YouTube. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.